Now back to those new developments with Nebraska Medicine. The board of directors overhauled today. The University of Nebraska and Clarkson Regional Health replaced nearly the entire board of Nebraska Medicine.
The university says the Attorney General, Mike Hilgers, is also investigating recent actions by the now former Nebraska Medicine Board. Our Brenna Kiefner has been following this story ever since early January and joins us live in the studio to break down what's changed. Brenna.
Brian and Aaron, effective immediately today, nearly every member of the Nebraska Medicine Board of Directors was removed. The university and Clarkson filed amended articles in cooperation with the Nebraska Secretary of State today, and they were accepted. The new board has 8 members. 6 of them are physicians. Dr. Deli Davies chairs the board. He's the interim UNMC chancellor, and he's the only member that was on the previous board. Clarkson CEO Dr. William Lydiat is also on the board. So is University President Dr. Jeffrey Gold. The old board, though, it looked very different. It had 13 members. It included business leaders like Lance Fritz, the former Union Pacific CEO, Bruce Grucock, chairman of Peter Kiewit Sons, and Mogans Bay, chairman of Valmont Industries. Now let's take a quick look at the timeline of events of how we got here today. On January 2nd, the Board of Regents announced an $800 million deal to buy out Clarkson's stake in Nebraska Medicine. On January 15th, which was just a week ago, the Board of Regents unanimously approved the deal. The next day, Nebraska Medicine's now former board sued to block the deal. They claim it violates their joint operating agreement. And today, the university and Clarkson replaced that entire board. The lawsuit filed is still active in Douglas County District Court, and now we have the Attorney General's investigation. The AG is investigating the old board for what the university and Clarkson call actions that threatened critically important strategic initiatives. I reached out to the AG's office for more details, but haven't heard back yet. I also haven't heard back from many of the former board members, and I also reached out to university and Clarkson officials. They declined to comment any further. Live in the studio, Brenna Kiefner, First Alert 6.
Brenna, thanks. Also, the release from the university today said the interim board will be in place until the $800 million deal closes. That's targeted for before June 30th. We have a full wrap-up of our coverage on this developing story on our website and our First Alert 6 app.